Welcome again to Joe's Stun Unboxing. I hope you're having a good weekend. I'm going to say something that I suppose some people might dispute, but I don't really care. And I think I seem to be in the minority of people that have this view. But perhaps if you agree, you leave your comments below, or just leave your comments below anyway. And that is regarding the whole Saudi involvement in boxing. Now, ideologically, I'm opposed to getting involved with the Saudis anyway, because I am of the view that their human rights record is atrocious. They treat gay people and women like trash, and I don't want anything to do with them. They're not getting a penny out of me anyway. And some people are going to say, "Oh, you're getting political." Yeah, I am getting. Of course, I'm getting political, because some things, believe it or not, are more important than boxing or sport in general. And I love boxing, but I'm not talking about party politics. I'm talking about a moral view. Your politics essentially are your morals, or they should be. And some people don't care about politics. And some people will say, well, I don't care about how the Saudis treat women, gay people, or anyone else. It was kind of like with the World Cup, over in Qatar. You had about 2,000 people who essentially wage slave labour who died making those stadiums. And people were like, oh, it doesn't matter. We had a great World Cup. It was in December. Who cares? Nah, I'm out. I don't hold that view. I don't like that view. I don't have respect for people that hold that view. But if you are someone who says, well, forget the politics, all I want to see is good boxing, I still think you're making a mistake. And I think you're making a mistake because do you really want a situation where the Saudis ramp up the price of fight purses for fighters to these astronomical levels, and essentially, apart from all the sports washing that goes on, essentially they buy the game, they buy boxing, they buy the leading fighters, who are then not prepared to come down and take, a mere 20 million instead of 80 million or whatever. I'm just putting these figures out of my rear end, but you know what I mean. I don't want that. I suppose a loose comparison, although they're not the same thing, but I'll go with it anyway. If you look at Premiership football, all the clubs are now owned by Americans, Arabs, or Russians. Do you really want that situation? Well, you've got it if you want it or not. The Premiership is no longer has anything to do with England or Britain, or very often it doesn't have anything to do with Europe. But do you really want this? Do you want people from, shall we say, highly questionable cultures, namely fascist theocracies, owning what used to be our property, and we're just the minions who run around, funding it? Well, I don't want that. And that's what you're going to get with boxing if you continually reach for the Saudi money. They don't pay for nothing. They're paying this, apart from the fact they've got more money than they can burn, literally. And despite the fact that the prices of our energy is through the roof. I live in a 1-bedroom flat. I got my bill. It was for 1 month, and it was £109, and I've barely had the fucking heating on. But yeah, 109 quid. So we're the little serfs. They're the lords and masters, and we're running around continually building up their huge profits. But do you really want them to own boxing? Because that's what's going to happen. That is what's going to happen. You will get in a sense, getting back to football. I know they're different sports, but go with me on this. You remember when they talked about the European Super League? Do you really want that tier system? A few people at the top getting all the money and absolutely nothing for those below. And some people will say, well, it's the free market and it's capitalism and so on and so forth. And yeah, it is. That's what's wrong with it. And that's why it should be resisted. Because otherwise you will have that situation. You will have the vast majority of people with breadcrumbs off the banquet table, and a few people sitting at the banquet table, stuffing their faces till they vomit. Do you want that? Because that's what you're going to get. You've already got that in football. What Roy Keane famously called the Prawn sandwich brigade. And Eddie Hearn and Warren and all the rest they don't care about any kind of morality. They are, pure laissez-faire capitalists. They want as much for their own pockets as well as their fighters' pockets as they possibly can get. So they will go with that. They will go with that. But if Saudi money is what you're going to go for, why would a Tyson Fury or a Joshua or anyone, why would other, maybe not British fighters, why would they come to Britain? Why would they do that? So I think there has to be a balance here, a strong balance, and at the moment there is none. And also, do you want to have to go to Saudi Arabia to watch a big fight? Because I think this is going to carry on. You're going to get more and more of these situations. You're talking about that 4-man tournament, that 4-man heavyweight tournament. And, everyone's saying, oh, that's great, fantastic. And can you imagine, oh, how brilliant it is. Well, how much are you going to pay pay-per-view for that? In Britain, in America, they've been fleeced to the bone for years. But in Britain, how much do you think they're going to charge for that? 50 quid? 60 quid? 80 quid? On top of your TV license, on top of your subscriptions, on top of everything else. It don't come for free, There are some people, the fanboys and the casuals, basically, who say, I'm a supporter of Fury or Joshua or whoever. And, yeah, my guy's getting paid 100 million. And it's like they're living vicariously through these people. It's like, you don't get a percentage of that money. You're just some silly little serf, glad of your chains, who's lauding his lord and master. Wake the up. You know what I mean? And this is what it's going to be. This is the way it's going to be. And I think it's very, very bad that everybody is kowtowing to the Saudis, both from an ideological point of view. I'm not hiding that at all. Moral point of view. But even if you don't care about any of that moral stuff, the hell with that. If you just care about boxing, from a boxing point of view, it's a long-term bad thing. Because you will suffer. Suddenly, Wembley Stadium events will be pretty much a thing of the past. Wembley Arena events might be a thing of the past. Or if they still exist, they'll have a much lower level of fighter on them. Because the A-listers will sod off just to the United Arab Emirates and make as much money as they can. So I don't like this at all. But I've got a feeling a lot of you might disagree, which is fine. I don't mind, By all means, as long as you're respectful, I don't care. Leave your comments below. Am I being doom-laden? Am I incorrect? Do you not care about other things? You only want to see good fights in the short term. Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think long-term, you might have an argument that long-term Saudi money is good for boxing? I'd like to hear that one. But go on, leave your comments below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you could do that, that'd be fantastic. And hit the like button. And as always, thanks for your time. And yeah, I'm looking forward to reading what you've got to say. Bye for now.